We just learned all about chocolate this week, and one of the things you got to taste was the 100% cacao. And that's what we're going to be making today to make our Lunchbox Brownies. So let's get started. The first thing you guys want to do, preheat your oven to 350. I've done that already. And line an 8-inch square pan if you have one. I happen to have a little disposable pan. I'm going to just give it a light grease. If you have either like a glass or a clay type pan, you can lay it. A sling means you lay it both directions and that you're able to grab it. I'm going to keep mine in this because I'm actually going to give it away as a Valentine's gift. So let's get started with the chocolate. So everybody received 4 ounces of chocolate, and yours might already be open because I had you taste it a little bit earlier. But we're only going to need 3 ounces of that chocolate. So when you open it up, you will see, and it's already marked, these are little 1/4 ounce squares, and we only need 3 of them. So that's those sets of squares. And I'm going to keep this one on the side. And I actually used that extra chocolate to either cook with. I'm making chili. You can put it in that. Or you can try to even make a chicken mole. So I'm going to keep that little bit of chocolate off to the side for another time. So the first thing you want to do is you want to, in some sort of microwave safe bowl. So that means plastic or glass. Or you can do it on the stovetop in a small sauce pot. You want to take your pre-measured 8 tablespoons of butter. That's 1 stick of butter. Put that in there. And we're going to melt it with the chocolate. So you can't just throw this big block of chocolate in there because we realize it doesn't have any thinners. So just take your knife, and I go a couple directions one way, and just rock it. And you want to just lightly shred that chocolate up, small little bits. And it's easier if you go kind of across the corners. Just keep rotating it. And when you microwave this, you're going to microwave it about 30 seconds at a time and then stir it. You don't want to do it all for the 2 or 3 minutes at one time because you could burn the chocolate. And what we're trying to do is just get the chocolate melted inside the butter and soften that butter. Now, you can do it this time on the stovetop because there is enough fat that you're using that butter. You won't scorch the chocolate, but if you are doing it too high of a heat, you could have a problem. So again, just a nice little low heat. And just melting and incorporating. So you're going to want to whisk to make sure that chocolate is nicely incorporated. All right, so there is all my chocolate. Let's go ahead and take our microwave bowl. And again, that's the 3 ounces. Get all of that in there. Okay, I'm gonna go microwave this, clean up my station, we'll be right back. So my chocolate butter mixture is all melted and it's just really very creamy. Again, every 30 seconds stop and give it a quick whisk. Keep this off to the side, don't get it hot. We want it just enough so that the mixture is just really melted. All right, so I'm gonna keep that off to my side. Now what we want to do is we want to take that 2/3 cup of flour. So you should have some flour left over from last week. And what we want to do is mix the flour with what I had given you, the baking soda. And then you want to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And you just want to mix those together. Let me have another little whisk. So you just want to kind of mix your dry ingredients together until they're well incorporated. And then You're going to need one more mixing bowl. And then into another larger mixing bowl, we want to go ahead and add the sugar. That's the 1 cup of sugar. You want to add your 2 eggs and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I'm just going to eyeball that one. And you want to whisk those together. So I'm going to use my same whisk that I had my chocolate on, but I'm going to make sure it's not hot. Now you want to make sure that chocolate mixture isn't hot because we don't want to cook the eggs. So mix together really well your eggs, sugar, and vanilla. And what we want to make sure is there's no lumps. Okay, then I have a rubber scraper sitting by, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to whisk just to make sure this isn't hot. If it is too hot, you may need to wait, but because you're adding a hot mixture to eggs, if this is too hot, you're going to scramble your eggs. So I'm going to add it slowly as I whisk, just to make sure that I don't cook those eggs. So I'm going to just slowly add it in there. This is actually called tempering. Oh my gosh, look at that rich color. So nice. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add it all. And I'm going to use my rubber scraper because I want you to get in here into your bowl and I want you to get every last little bit of that chocolate butter mixture out. Okay. Get everything out of this inside. Okay. You can keep that rubber scraper off to the side. We're going to use it again. Look at the color on that. If you guys can see, it is like black. So rich. Okay, so I'm actually going to get rid of my whisk now. So I don't want it to be too fluffy. And what I'm going to do now is mix in. I've got chocolate up the sides of my bowl, so I'm going to wipe it down. And I'm just going to make sure there's nothing stuck to the bottom of the bowl. Okay, really nice and clean. And then I'm going to go ahead and add all that flour. And then you're going to just mix that in until it's nice and smooth. And when you want to use that rubber scraper and really scrape down the sides of your bowl, and kind of fold it all in there. Now, if you wanted to add any nuts into it, you could do that at this point. I have also made what I call some more brownies. I think that's on the bottom of your recipe. So after I bake the brownies, or I just under bake them, I take them out, I'll fill the top with mini marshmallows and cracked up pieces of graham cracker. So you could do anything like that. I think there's an option in there for like a peanut butter brownie or even cream cheese. All right, so that's it. Okay, homemade. Let's take our pan. Let's give it a really quick spray just around the edges lightly. Make sure it lifts out. Pour that mixture. See if I can do this so you guys can see. Pour that mixture in. Scrape out the bowl. Get all of that chocolate in there. Okay, don't be tempted to lick the bowl or the spatula, the scraper. Okay, it's got raw eggs in there. You don't want to be sick. So then I'm going to clean up this edge just a little bit here so that it's nice and clean. And they're going to go into the oven right in the middle rack for about 22 to 27 minutes. Now I'm going to set my timer for 15. And what you want to do is you want to real quickly at 15 minutes just take your brownie mix and spin it in the oven. So whatever's in the back becomes the front and the front becomes the back. And the reason why you want to do that is because sometimes ovens don't bake evenly and we want to make sure it gets a nice even bake. So I'll come back when we're ready to take them out. So I rotated them again at 15 minutes and then I set my timer for another 8. And I just pulled them out. You can start to see they're starting to just crack a little bit. I like to just slightly underbake them, but they don't want that raw gooey in the middle. So take a toothpick, go once right in the middle, pull it out. It should come out very clean. If it's got wet mix on it, put it back in for like another 2 minutes, check again in another spot about an inch away. But you want to stick right to the center. Remember, it cooks from the outside edges to the center, so that's what you're looking for. Can't eat them right now. They need to sit and cool completely before you can cut them. If you do, they're just going to fall apart. The moisture, the steam that comes in is going to get soaked right back into that crumb of the brownie, and they're just going to be doughy. So patience. You'll be able to eat them soon enough. My brownies completely cooled and I flipped them out of the pan. Easiest thing to use is now if you guys have a serrated knife. And what I'm gonna do little bite size because these are pretty rich. So, and when you use your serrated, you use it like a saw. You actually cut back and forth, not like a knife in rotation. You can see these are a little gooey. So maybe after each cut, let's get a paper towel and I'm going to wipe my knife. So I'm going in half and I'm going to go in half this direction. Oh, look at those. Those are so gooey. I'll go half this way. Go the other direction. And that will give you 16 brownie. Oh, they're so moist. They're sticky. Little crust on the top. And then you can even hit them if you would like with a little bit of powdered sugar. Keep them in an airtight container. Okay, you don't want them drying out or on a plate. Keep them covered with plastic wrap or some aluminum foil. All right, there you go. I'll get it plated.